back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts. Let me fix my light there. No. There we go. It's Brexit Day. It's January.
Oh, it's on his face.
31st. No, that's their lighting. That shouldn't be ours. Should not be our lighting.
Nope, it's not theirs.
No, it is. It's moving. You see?
Precious queen, Lord, live her noble queen, God save her queen, send her victory.
Look, that's Nige. They are really. This literally just happened moments ago in the UK.
Happy Brexit Day!
That's right. Sing it. Yes. These are the happiest people. Could you imagine being there?
Waving the Union Jacks.
I need to get our St. George flag down. Oh my gosh. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. The words. That's Anne. I know her voice. Girl, we're singing it. Woo! Now, did they do the countdown yet? Did we start out with the countdown there?
We did not start out with the countdown.
Thank you, Nigel!
You've been fantastic.
No,
We
it's not
couldn't have
Nigel.
done this without you.
That's that other guy.
Thank you so much indeed. Believe it or not, we're no longer a member of the European Union.
Hip hip!
Hooray!
And with that, I bid you a very good evening, a safe trip home, and a fantastic,
No, they did do the countdown then.
wonderful
That's what I said.
weekend.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We didn't do
Okay,
the countdown.
so no, we didn't. I
We're
wanted
gonna do
to
it.
start with the ending because it just happened, and we're gonna do a rewind. We're gonna do a rewind of this whole day. I have videos for you of Nigel leaving Parliament, for doing a tour of Parliament, thoughts from callers all over of the UK. Very exciting show. I want to jump right into it, but I know we're working our way backwards, but I want to hit you I want to hit you in the gipper because I literally almost started crying, and I was like, no, I just put makeup on, right? Kiss you in the gipper. I don't know.
Smack him in the face.
I just wanted to get, I did. I want to get him right.
Gut.
Okay, so I want Michelle to play the countdown because I did my math horribly wrong. I thought y'all were going to leave at 7 o'clock our time. So I thought we had a whole hour, and I was going to do
You thought they were going to leave at midnight?
No, I was doing my math wrong. I was counting. I'm like this. Da 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 da.
Yeah,
Da 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 da.
5 hours from 7.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 4.
12. That's
But
midnight.
I thought they were.
That's 5
I knew they were
hours.
leaving at 11.
So I just said you thought they were leaving at midnight.
No, I just counting wrong. I counted wrong.
But they're 5 hours ahead of us.
I counted the wrong.
So they left at 11.
They left at 11.
Okay.
They left at 11, and I counted wrong. I thought they would leave at 7 our time. We'd have a whole hour to work their way up to it. But it's okay. We're going to work our way backwards. And it's all going to be great.
Hang on. I'm going to pull that up. I'm just wanting to share wherever I can share, and you guys should do the exact same thing. This is going to. I'm so excited. We are literally experiencing this with
real
you guys.
time, like
real
seriously
time.
real time. So if Michelle could bring up,
Right.
I think you have it queued up, right? The countdown. I think it's right there.
I think
All right,
it is this one.
countdown.
Okay, so Brit Baza had sent us. It's the final countdown song. We're not going to play that, but I can't help but sing it. It's the final countdown. Here we go. Are you ready? You're not ready. Here we go. It's like watching the ball drop backwards, but that's okay.
Make it big.
I'm going to make it big. So exciting. So June 23rd, we get the vote. A year and a half later.
Are you feeling good?
We're feeling good.
Have you had fun?
Yes!
We tried to be extra red, white, and bluey. Stuart the Brit says, I hate to admit it today, I have cried, but I am so proud of my countrymen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brexit! Brexit Day!
Oh my gosh, this moment for everyone. They are just so happy. Unbelievable. Okay, all the fog and it's just cracking me up. It's so cracking me up. Gio says no surrender day. Dermat Laman says congrats to Britain. Redneck says congratulations, folks. I'm gonna turn down that clock just a little bit there.
They wanted Big Ben to go, but they said they couldn't get it going. So they got it, you know.
Right. And we're gonna listen to Nigel's speech here in a second. Carsoni says we got there in the end. Yes, you did. We did. It was a group effort.
So I tell you what I'm gonna do.
Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the national
Okay,
anthem.
you can pause it there. Keep this up, because what we're gonna do is at the end of the show, I'm gonna play it again. And we're gonna do
my videos
in a second. I want to take you through some of the different videos today, some of the Ramoners, some of the Remainers.
oh my gosh.
I am just so happy for all of you today. I'm so happy for Britain. Nigel had people on the LBC, but I want to start with something a little funny. Michelle has a lot of videos up, but I want to bring up
Thanks
some funny
to
ones.
Barry. Thank you, Barry.
Yes, thank you, Barry. So I want to start with something funny here. This is what's her name here? She's a famous. What's her name, guys? The girl, the woman here. Put it in the comments.
I have no idea.
She's famous lever. Julie Hartley Brewer. Julie Hartley. All right, so she's got a little talk show here. And so we're starting with something humorous here. Lib Dem MP Christine Jordan will not be. Didn't think today was going to be so as a happy Brexit day. Yeah.
Good morning to you, Christine. Happy Brexit Day.
Well, it might be happy for you, but I am not going to indulge in the happy Brexit Day. You know, it's not a good day for a lot of people in this country,
That's
so I'm not going to insult
spirit.
by saying happy Brexit Day. That's just nonsense.
11 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be in Parliament Square celebrating with lots of 10 or 20 or 30,000 other Brexiteers. What are you going to be doing at 11 p.m. tonight?
Something humorous here.
I will either be in one of two places. I will either be at the Vigil in Edinburgh, which I'm
The
still
Vigil?
considering, or if I can finish answering your quick. Julia, you know, for a lot of
I'm sorry,
people,
I'm
you might
sorry,
find that
Christine.
amusing. Julia, you might find it amusing, but for a lot of people who live in this country and who contribute to this country, this is a very difficult day. They are European citizens.
And they're
not
still
UK
welcome here
citizens.
and welcome to stay here.
Yeah, but let's not patronising them by laughing at how they might be feeling today, Julia.
I was laughing at the idea of attending a vigil when we are marking a great day in our democratic history.
A vigil is something you would do
Well,
for a
me
death.
It's not. For me, it's a sad day.
Okay.
It's a sad day because we've turned our back on a marvellous opportunity.
All right. Well,
We've
I'm
turned our
going to be-
back on a vision of European togetherness, and I think we will lose at the end of the day. But my job now is to work to make the best of it. And I'm not laughing at people who are celebrating.
Okay.
And, please don't laugh at people who are finding this difficult.
I'm laughing at the idea of a vigil, and well, you know, Christy Jodie, I will be raising a glass to you and all of those at your vigil at 11 o'clock tonight. I'm going to raise a glass to everyone here in Britain and our European cousins as well as we mark this wonderful day.
Oh my
So
gosh.
she was so funny. I'm going to play one more video of her because she's been outspoken Brexiteer from the very beginning here.
I've just never been prouder of my country and my countrymen and women for standing up for themselves, for refusing to bow to the bureaucratic and establishment pressure, for refusing to take no for an answer, for refusing to vote again the right way, for not getting bowed down. They've taken the abuse, they've taken all of the criticism, and they've been told, oh, it's going to be terrible, this will be awful, you know, the NHS is going to collapse, the economy is going to collapse. And they took it all with a pinch of salt, and they said, We told you what we wanted. We wanted to leave the EU. We're telling you again, and we're going to keep telling you until you do what we tell you. And that's a wonderful day for democracy.
Yes,
Brexit Day is about celebrating, not just Brexit, it's about celebrating democracy.
Yes.
It's alive and well and kicking in Britain.
Awesome. So why don't you bring up the LBC today from Nigel, and then we'll play some more clips, some interviews from him.
That's going to be, I think...
Security at Mar-a-Lago, but obviously dramatic.
Let me pause it. Here's your favourite Briton, mine, Mr. Sir Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Donald. Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Donald, for being a Brexiteer, for backing it right from the very start. It's a big day, because you see, in 5 hours' time, we will, after 47 years, leave the European Union.
And you're gone.
Yeah, sure, there'll be arguments, debates about what's to follow, but this is the big historic moment we're in now, the final countdown.
Loving
it's big
the
stuff, and
remainder
let's just
tears
remind ourselves
right now.
why this is happening. Let's remind ourselves what happened at about 4:40 in the morning of the 24th of June 2016. This was David Dimbleby announcing the result of the referendum.
Democracy got there in time.
Well, at 20 minutes to 5, we can now say the decision taken in 1975 by this country to join the common market has been reversed by this referendum to leave the EU. The British people have spoken, and the answer is we're out.
And here's the extraordinary thing. When David Cameron announced the referendum back in 2013, and as the general election of 15 happened and the referendum campaign itself started,
voted, we spoke.
at every stage of this,
People need to be
the
heard.
Prime Minister, in fact, the establishment were clear. It's an in-out referendum. We're either in the EU or, to quote the Prime Minister, out completely. And yet, it has taken until the 31st of January 2020 for this to be enacted after over 3.5 years of the parliamentary equivalent of trench warfare. It has seen former Prime Ministers, Blair, Major, Brown, standing up and saying that basically the whole thing should be reversed. It's all been a terrible mistake. We've had stories about Russian money, all of which turned out to be baloney.
Happy Independence Day. I'm celebrating with beer and dip.
Because a few friends of mine and myself had chatted with Paul McKenna ahead of the referendum that we'd hypnotised the nation. I mean, you've never heard such rubbish in all your life. But it's happening. We are leaving tonight. It is a big historic moment. I would argue that it is, in terms of our constitution and indeed in terms of our position in the world, the most significant moment since Henry VIII took England out of the Church of Rome, and tonight we leave the Treaty of Rome. To me, well, I became, I suppose, obsessed with this subject back in the early 1990s. Sort of 1990 really got me going, and by 1992 I was out delivering leaflets, knocking on doors, campaigning, and the rest of my life, some would say, has been downhill ever since. So I put 27 years of my life into this. I can't even begin to tell you what this means to me today. And in an odd way, it's almost better after 3.5 years of agony, because this time last year I wasn't sure it was actually going to happen at all, and it did seem to me that a second referendum was coming down the tracks. Now, I've been doing media today all day. I've been around almost every London studio, and the story, the Westminster narrative, is that so much of the country is really unhappy with what's happening, and yet I've met Remainers today who say to me, Nigel, I voted Remain because my life was quite comfortable, but you know what? We're a democracy. I accept it. And tonight, as I've come in tonight to LBC Studios, the scenes out on the streets in Leicester Square, it's just going bonkers out there. I just met a coach load of people who come down from Barnsley this morning. I mean, they are just going for gold. And listen, boys and girls, please don't peak too soon. You seem to be enjoying yourself perhaps a little bit too much. But I see it, and I hear stories of fireworks parties, of get-togethers all over the country. I think there is a huge amount of celebration going on tonight. And even when I debated with Lord Mandelson this morning on Good Morning Britain on ITV. Even Lord Mandelson said, look, it's not what I wanted, but it is happening. There will be no second referendum.
Now,
So
we
for
can go
him,
to
the
that
battle
and
now...
then come back to this if
Sure.
you wanted, since it's, well, it's this one. Well, it was in your history, right?
I hadn't played it.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm.
I thought you had that one.
Mm-mm. But you
Okay.
can do it.
Come on. You can do it. What I put today? Or
Just
Brexit?
type it in, and I bet it'll be one of those ones that come up. Click on Good Morning Britain,
Did I spell Britain wrong? That's embarrassing.
and then pause that. You know what they'll play. See if it go down. There it is on the right. Go down.
Wait. There he
There.
is. This one. There's Nigel.
There's one.
The man
no.
of the moment, Nigel Farage. I mean, for you, this is a day you've been campaigning for how many years?
27 years I've been
27
campaigning,
years.
nearly 21 years in the European Parliament.
The
I
other
mean,
one, I
it
think,
took over my life.
had
You know, I closed
the
down my
other guy,
business.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
dedicated myself
What other
There was
one?
another clip. Play that. Keep playing it.
Okay.
I don't know if
to
you
this
can bring
completely.
it.
So it's
I can't
it's
do
an odd
anything else,
moment, because if you want something so very much, it becomes difficult to
bring
believe
it.
it will ever happen.
27 years ago, Nigel, what made you make such a drastic change to your life just to pursue this one ideal, which was getting the UK out of the European Union?
I worked in financial markets at the time. I worked in commodities and currencies, and we tied sterling against a basket of European currencies, and it was a precursor to us joining the euro. The government of this country wanted us to join the euro, and I just thought there is no way this country should ever
Sorry.
giving up that level of control. I also thought economically it wouldn't work. And I met people in the Conservative Party and Labour Party who agreed with me
I guess it's
that it
not
was a
on.
mistake.
It must
But
be
nobody
further
seemed to
down.
really want to fight.
No, it's just the clip
Nobody
might
seemed
not
to want
be
to
up.
really stand up. So I
There's
said,
no
the hell
letters
with
in
it.
there.
Well,
I'm going to do this.
you stood up, you fought hard.
said he was
We're
on
at
Good
the day now. You saw from that
No,
vote
the
leaver
whole
that
show.
Katie was chatting to in the
People
cafe,
first.
where they
Nigel must have been
voted
on for the whole
big
show.
for leaving the
No, it
European
wasn't.
Union, that he didn't quite believe it was going to happen.
I know.
Is there a bit of you that's like that? Not least because so much is still to be done. We might be out, but we haven't got that trade deal. There's so many other things to
Yes,
put in place.
of course, there's lots of work to come. But think of this. What happens tonight at 11 o'clock? We pass the point of no return. Once we're out, there is no way this country will ever rejoin. And I think this is the moment. This is the big moment in history. As for the next phase, all I can say is, right now, Boris Johnson is saying all the right things. And if he delivers those things, we will be truly, genuinely independent. So I have to be honest, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. And you showed there an MEP's assistant who wasn't very happy. Let me tell you something. I walked at random into a pub in Westminster last night, and the party had already started. I'm getting texts from people. There are firework parties. There are millions of people who are overjoyed. And the
They don't
real
seem
story
real
of
happy.
tonight is
Little
Brexit was a
sourpusses.
grassroots campaign of ordinary people, and every political party and every national newspaper, and 10 years ago, every business opposed Brexit. And this is an incredible victory for ordinary people against the establishment.
There is-
And what it shows you, whatever the faults in our country, we're still a democracy. It still works.
There is, undoubtedly, there will be people that are celebrating, but there are huge swathes of the country that aren't, that are very scared about the future. They're nervous what this means for their businesses, what it means for their ability to travel, what it means for their families, wherever they might be. Do you have some sympathy for them, just in regards to the uncertainty that they feel that they're in?
I mean, the idea that we can't travel because we're not members of the European Union is clearly utter rubbish. I mean, our students travel all over the world. We travel all over the world, whether it's getting jobs, whether it's going on holidays. So some of these scares are ridiculous. Truth of it is, the country is uniting. A lot of people who voted Remain say, look, we're a democracy, this needs to happen. And the general view out there is, let's just get on with this. Even the Financial Times, who had backed us joining the euro, the most pro-EU newspaper, even they say, we accept this is happening, let's try and make a success of it. And that, I think, overwhelmingly is the view. The country is now coming together.
You mentioned the work to be done. The Bank of England has downgraded, hasn't it, their
Okay, you can skip
forecast.
the whole. They get
Yeah.
real stupid here.
I wanna
All
come
right,
back
go back
last
to
June.
Nigel a little bit to his talking here
is
today.
about
So
the next
positive.
stage. But this is the big historic break. It means the world to me, and I would suggest to you that this is the greatest moment in modern British history. But I want you to tell me, what does this moment mean to you.
I want to hear you.
0345 6060 973. Text to 84850. Tweet using the hashtag Farage and LBC at LBC. And of course, you can join us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and watch us if you want to. Let's go to Steve. A new caller to me from Southampton. Steve, good evening.
Nigel, such a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you. I was delivering Brexit leaflets, to leave 10 days before the referendum.
Yes.
And I severed my clavicle delivering those leaflets. I had a terrible fall.
Gosh.
And bizarrely, it's taken 3.5 years to get my clavicle absolutely right. It's taken 3.5 years to leave. So it's come full circle for me. Which is
I hope you don't blame me for the clavicle.
Not at all. I blame the canvasser said, would you mind going to deliver these leaflets for me? But no, joking aside, I think the one thing that's really struck me, Nigel, is how many countries told us how awful it would be leaving.
Yeah.
But we would lose out. But they wouldn't give their sovereignty away. And there's been so little talk of sovereignty in Parliament. It's all been about economics.
Oh, it's GDP. GDP could be down by 0.1%.
Yeah.
And even if it was true, Steve, this vote wasn't about economic forecast, was it?
No, it wasn't about economics. It was about us taking back... They say taking back control, and then we would be derided for saying taking back control, when in fact all we want to do is to decide for ourselves if we want 1,600 watt
They need a
Hoovers.
statue
I know that's
for
a trivial
Nige,
thing, but it's
for
just
sure.
indicative of the
Nigel.
sort of roller coaster of rules and regulations that we face. And when I face in the medicines industry, where I work, so many rules and regulations just drives me nuts. So, Nigel, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Steve. And I'm very pleased your clavicle is better and that you can, no doubt, dance
to speak with you.
I hope you can dance a jig tonight.
I certainly can. My landlord is graciously taking 10% off the prices for an hour tonight at 11 o'clock.
Now, we're going to play the epic video now. What do you think?
Okay.
We had friends. Everybody was sending in this video. Nigel Farage, his last speech in Parliament. He gets shut down at the very end, and you'll see why. Again, I'm going to miss these speeches. Lord, you've got to come up with some other way to entertain us, because it's the best speech that... the speech is from Nigel. You don't even have the one up.
No, I do. I have it. This is it. I just had to... I'm like you. This is what you do when you kind of get your tabs out. Okie dokie. All right, here we are.
Nigel's last speech.
So this is it, the final chapter, the end of the road. A 47-year political experiment that the British, frankly, have never been very happy with. My mother and father signed up to a common market, not to a political union, not to flags, anthems, presidents, and now you even want your own army. For me, it's been 27 years of campaigning and over 20 years here in this Parliament. I'm not particularly happy with the agreement we're being asked to vote on tonight, but Boris has been remarkably bold in the last few months, and Ms von der Leyen, he's made it clear, he's promised us there'll be no level playing field. And on that basis, I wish him every success in the next round of negotiations. I really do. But the most significant point is this. What happens at 11 p.m. this Friday, the 31st of January, 2020, marks the point of no return. Once we've left, we are never coming back, and the rest, frankly, is detail. We're going, we will be gone. And that should be the summit of my own political ambitions. I walked in here, as I've said before, you all thought it was terribly funny. You stopped laughing in 2016. But my view has changed of Europe since I joined. In 2005, I saw the constitution that had been drafted by Giscard and others. I saw it rejected by the French in a referendum. I saw it rejected by the Dutch in a referendum. And I saw you in these institutions ignore them, bring it back as a Lisbon Treaty, and boast you could ram it through without there being referendums. Well, the Irish did have a vote and did say no and were forced to vote again. You're very good at making people vote again, but what we've proved is the British are too big to bully, thank goodness. So I became an outright opponent of the entire European project. I want Brexit to start a debate across the rest of Europe. What do we want from Europe? If we want trade, friendship, cooperation, reciprocity, we don't need a European Commission. We don't need a European Court. We don't need these institutions and all of this power. And I can promise you, both in UKIP and indeed in the Brexit Party, we love Europe. We just hate the European Union. It's as simple as that. So I'm hoping this begins the end of this project. It's a bad project. It isn't just undemocratic, it's anti-democratic, and it puts in that front row. It gives people power without accountability. People who cannot be held to account by the electorate, and that is an unacceptable structure. Indeed, there's an historic battle going on now across the West, in Europe, America, and elsewhere. It is globalism against populism. And you may loathe populism, but I tell you a funny thing, it's becoming very popular. And it has great benefits. No more financial contributions, no more European Court of Justice, no more common fisheries policy, no more being talked down to, no more being bullied, no more Guy Verhofstadt. I mean, what's not to like? I know you're going to miss us. I know you want to ban our national flags, but we're going to wave you goodbye.
Here we go.
And we'll look forward in the future to working with you as sovereign.
If you disobey the rules, you get cut off. Could we please remove the flags? Mr. Farage, could we remove the flags, please?
That's it, it's all over. Finished. It's gone.
Could I please ask for quiet? Please sit down, resume your seats, put your flags away, you're leaving, and take them with you if you are leaving now. And goodbye.
Such children.
They
Such
are.
petty
Oh, you
children.
missed what they didn't put in there, what she said after. You used the word hate, and I don't think that you should hate anybody.
They're such children.
You're all a bunch of babies.
Absolute children.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so here we have
such an epic speech.
Taking down the British flag from the EU flags here. Now, hopefully you can see me behind me. You can. Watch everybody in the...
Oh, it's just so move over. There you go. Play it again. It's the best thing ever. Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all. So, such amazing moments here. Paul Joseph Watson. This is Paul Joseph Watson's little live stream here, I believe.
It's so fantastic. It's so great. I wish I could have been there. I mean,
I would have loved to be there. Go ahead
you.
and bring up the video of Nigel. I want you guys to see. He does a tour. The actual one of the, I don't know which building he's going through. One of the buildings, not the Brussels building, but the EU Parliament itself, the big one. I don't know if you can find it. But he does a tour of it. It's a 10-minute video.
Oh, I do have it up. I actually was just intrigued by that title. It says Nigel reveals whether he would appear on
you can shut that down.
Dancing.
He didn't actually reveal it.
That's correct.
Leave that one up,
though. I am. I'm just
saying we watched a little bit of that one, but we're going to come back to it.
Right.
That's Anne. Go ahead and play that one. We can come when you find
Wait for it. Now it's frozen.
There we go. Let's see. I have the one up of Nigel doing the tour. I know it was over here. This is like one of those games. Where did I see that last?
There it is. Tour.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, I told you I had it. I got it all.
Turned up here. We've been elected to the European Parliament, the first elections ever in the UK on a national level on proportional representation. So these three complete unknowns from a party not many people had heard of had got elected. And I remember it was a hot day in July and turning up here. And I mean, the building was brand new. It had never been open before. It was literally the first day of the building. I remember looking at this and thinking, it looks a bit like a gas holder. I didn't think it was very impressive, but once you come in, architecturally, it's actually worth seeing. Pretty impressive. It's like a Roman amphitheatre. I once thought they might put the Eurosceptics in the middle and release the lions. I wasn't sure, but it's grand. It's actually, the building itself is interesting, but amazing, isn't it? It's only open as a parliament 48 days a year. 48 days a year. This place is actually used as a parliament. The rest of the time, the parliament's up in Brussels. Oh, and their main admin offices are actually in Luxembourg. So when it comes to wasting money and having a heavy carbon footprint, the European Union, the European Parliament are really good at this. And quite a thought for me today. I was here in the 1990s, I was here in the noughties, I was here in the 10s, I'm now here in the 20s. It's the fourth different decade that I have been here. So it's, I'm delighted that politically we're leaving, but I'm quite reflective, because this has been a huge chunk of my life. Let's have a look inside, shall we? Now, this is the kind of thing we're subjected to here. They're all around, as you can see. This one interests me particularly. 51 million Europeans voted because they want to see us taking action on security and defence. So what they're saying is that we all want a European air.
Do you see all of these products?
An ad. That's funny.
It's just an ad, yeah.
Navy and Army, they're away with the fairies. But that's the kind of propaganda that is pumped down your throat every single day here. And I've seen a lot of people, some Brits too, a lot of people who come here as opponents of it, but after a couple of years they all think, well, perhaps we should compromise our position. And I think this is because this lifestyle of an MEP is way beyond that of an MP, and way beyond that most people in their ordinary lives could ever expect.
We paid for a good chunk of that building. I want some of my money back.
There's a fleet of chauffeur-driven cars downstairs. There's a pile of invitations on my desk every week. Champagne receptions, lunches, dinners. I mean, you know, if you sort of get with it and support the project, it's a pretty good life. Somehow, in 20 years, they haven't corrupted me. That's because I lived a pretty loose lifestyle already. Hello, how are you? All right? It's finally happening. We are actually leaving.
Yeah. I'm going to miss you. The whole Parliament was going to miss you.
Well, I've given it a bit of theatre, haven't I? I've given it a bit of... Yeah. I've been their best publicity they've ever had, really. Yeah. But
they need you, in fact, I think.
It's funny. I mean, of course, politically, I'm delighted we're leaving. But I will miss the theatre. Yeah. You know, the sort of dramatic moments. And anyway, it's a big moment.
Listen, it's been a pleasure, Mike.
You've been a great friend. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, people have been very nice. It's been interesting, actually. I wasn't sure, because here in the past I've had hostility, you know, abuse in the lifts and jostling, and you'd be amazed how vicious people have been, particularly after the Brexit vote. But this week there is an acceptance that we're leaving. They've got it into their heads. There's one or two ranters like Verhofstadt who still think it might be reversed, but they've got it into their heads. And the number of people who said we're going to miss you because you've livened the place up has been quite extraordinary, really. Right, continue. No, it's not Kew Gardens. It is the European Parliament. I think these are modern-day Triffids, but it's all pretty impressive, actually. So that's it. That is, and they call it the beehive. You can see why. Now, whether you support the European project or not, you've got to say, architecturally, this place is pretty fascinating. Brussels is hideous. Brussels is more like sort of an unfinished Gatwick Airport. But this is actually quite lively. And what I'm going to miss is the action inside there, because it's been, I've been the pantomime villain. I get up and speak, and 400 people start booing, and that's the bit that I'm going to miss. It's been really quite lively and quite exciting. Hello, how are you? Still here, just, yes. She'll be very pleased when I've gone. And so Carlos Puigdemont says, and that's kind of livening up the week in quite a big way. Now, the most important place here, of course, is not the chamber. It's the bar. Coffee bar, although you can get drinks if you want. Now, I seriously don't think that if he was alive, he would approve, even if he thought in the dark days.
It's another ad.
Okay.
It was coming.
Catch it. You caught it. You caught it. LBC making the dough, man.
Or and after that, a united Europe, France and Germany being together was a good idea, which he did, although we shouldn't be part of it. I think 55 years on from his death, would he have approved of an organisation run by a European Commission you can't vote for and can't remove? No, I think they're taking his name in vain. That's what I think. So if you get lost, this explains everything to you. Not. When I first came in 1999, on the new building, there were no signs. They had no time to put signs up, so people literally were getting lost, couldn't get out. That's what they wanted, you see. All the while, they never wanted us to leave. But it was absolute chaos that first. And the aircon wasn't working. I turned up in traditional city pinstripes. I mean, it was like being in a Chinese laundry. It was horrible. That's the one. What I called a stuck-up snob. Do you remember? She's the Liberal Democrat who said, but people in Britain didn't know what they were voting for. I remember that vividly. I don't know why, but every office I've ever had has been 007. So this is my little office. Quite a humble little office, really. So, because this is the biggest travelling circus since Billy Smart's, this is what we have. The trusty box. So what happens is, the important contents of my office in Brussels are loaded into that box, put onto a lorry, driven down the autobahns of Europe, about 400 kilometres, to here, where the box is here, the stuff is unpacked for 4 days, then it's packed back up again and driven back to the Brussels office, and that happens 12 times a year. No, I'm not making it up. That really does happen. At a cost to taxpayers, the whole travelling circus of something like $250 million euros every year. And people say, we must reform the European Union, but the French cleverly got it written into the treaties that Strasbourg was the home of the European Parliament, and it should meet 12 times a year, and to reverse it, we need a unanimous vote, and the French are not going to vote for up to 5,000 people coming on expenses and spending it all in Strasbourg.
That is just absolutely ridiculous. The waste, the carbon footprint.
I can't even.
Don't talk to me about climate change when you're packing up entire offices 12 times a year.
Night time has fallen. The members' bars up there and all the frivolity at the end of the day. But I'm coming down to the radio studios. So this is it. This literally is the belly of the beast. We're on the ground floor and we're heading to what I have to say is a pretty impressive set of radio studios. No expense spared here. This is what I'll show you in a minute what I've been broadcasting LBC shows for the last 3 years during all of these Strasbourg sessions and during some confrontations with Mr. Juncker and all the rest of it. And this is my last day in this building, and that is quite a thought. I have spent over 2 years of my life here, over 2 years of my life I've spent coming to Strasbourg, being at these sessions, and literally, I'm going to go in, we're ready, we're organised, we're going to do the LBC show, I'm then going to get in my car and drive to Calais, and I may never come back again. Use the hashtag, there we are. This is my last few minutes in the European Parliament in Strasbourg, having first walked through these doors in July 1999. So in 4 different decades I've been here in this place, and in a few minutes I'll be gone, never to return, I suspect. It's been an amazing journey. A lot of it's been fun. A lot of it's been quite heated. I shall miss the drama of the place. I shall miss being shouted at by Guy Verhofstadt, mocked by hundreds many times over. But politically I'm pleased. We are leaving. This is my last day. And what a thought. I've spent 4 years of my life in Strasbourg. I find that quite extraordinary. In fact, I need to almost lie down after a cold shower.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So much there. You guys were
amazing.
talking, about wonky carrots and how we're gonna have to have spam in a can, and looks compartmentalized and just compartmentalized. Too straight jacket there. Yeah. So there you have it, and I think that all of us were, I don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed actually seeing what was in the belly of the beast and how much money was spent there. Pretty crazy.
What do you want me to play next?
I want you to go ahead and actually I will play, because we're not necessarily jumping around.
Are we going to go back to his show, or do we?
We will go back to his show, because there's a few more. He just was on fire today. But here is his ride to the celebrations tonight.
Worrying me ever so slightly, but hopefully it'll be a quick shower. Forecast wasn't bad. I'm looking forward to it. What I've seen already on the streets is a tremendous buzz. There's a lot of people coming into London today. It's going to be very exciting. And I think, I've got one big message, really, and I just want to get that one right. And it is that, you think about this is a grassroots victory against an establishment that never even wanted to give us a referendum, let alone implement Brexit. And yet an amazing thing is happening. There is a coming together tonight. Tony Blair, Peter Mandelson, others saying it's happening. Let's get on with it. The country's unifying, and that actually is great, because there were a lot wanted to condemn us for having this event tonight, but they'll find it more difficult now. There is a sense that we're now marking a really historic occasion.
Give it up. Yeah. I have one of them up.
Oh,
all right.
Hang on. We're not done.
Okay.
He just got cut off by the internet gods.
Disappointed that it's there.
What was the one thing that actually made you keep fighting for this moment?
A total desire not to be proved wrong. I mean, obstinacy. Pure, pig-headed obstinacy.
And was there ever a moment that you thought, I need to give up this fight?
Many. No, there were many times when difficult things happened, or, just the sheer aggro of politics. You think, my goodness me. At least in business, people were fairly straightforward, sometimes even honest, unlike people in politics who were generally pretty ghastly. So there were times that I got pretty hacked off with it. But I never, ever, really. I never, ever seriously. Yeah, beyond short term, what the am I doing? But we all do that in life, I suppose.
Who would you say is your biggest opponent in the Brexit debate?
Well, Nick Clegg thought he was. And that's for others to judge. But that's going back a few years. I think the most difficult opponent was Alistair Campbell, really, because he's the guy that was kind of the people's vote. We had the bloody people's vote, but there's Alistair Campbell, brilliantly as he does, changing the language. So I think Campbell's been our biggest opponent for the last 2 or 3 years.
What would you say has been your obviously your personal and professional sacrifices over the years? Was it worth it in terms of it's affected maybe your family?
Yeah, it's affected everything.
Your time?
Yeah, it's affected. I mean, look, it cost me a fortune. The whole thing in that sense has been a disaster. My daughter did say to me in 2016, well, Daddy, at least it was worth it. And now it really is worth it. Yeah, if you dedicate yourself to a cause, no matter what it is, if you really are dedicated to a cause and trying to bring about change and overturn a status quo, there's a big price to pay elsewhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be a lot of Remainers who are a bit saddened by the events tonight. Do you have a message for them, just to how to unify the country?
Yeah, I just think follow the lead of the sensible people. Those that are actually grown-ups who are now accepting that the battle's over, the war is over, it's time for us to move on. And do you know what? I think it's happening as I speak. I think a really believe, I've just been on LBC talking to people, and a lot of Remainers ringing in saying, okay, we get it, we win it.
Well, and what would you need to do personally to help unify the country?
Well, of course, I'm seen to be such a strident leader that maybe I'm not the best person to do that. I think I'm more effective
At least he's
at
honest.
stir and getting debate going and making people think. But look, you know, my hand of friendship is there to anybody who wants us to get on with being an independent country and making a big success of it.
How much faith have you got in Boris to deliver a good trade deal over the next year?
Whether I've got faith in him, he knows if he doesn't deliver, he's finished. So I think practicalities say to me that we'll get to the right place.
And finally, what's next for Nigel Farage?
Oh, I'm going to keep a watching brief on this. I'm not going to walk away. The perception was in 16 I'd walked away. I'm going to be around whether I'm here or in the USA for a bit, or doing radio shows or whatever it is.
Or in the USA for a bit.
I shall praise him to the rooftops if he gets it right and sound the alarm bell if he gets it wrong.
And just one last question. What's the core message of your speech tonight?
That this is the greatest moment in modern British history.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Anne. And maybe some comments.
Let's see.
One thing that really annoys me is Remainers can always go and live in the EU, but us Brits, where can we go if the vote was to remain? Nobody ever points that out.
That's a very, very good question. BritBoz says, hey, our toasters don't have to have 300 EU directives governing it now, and we can have turbocharged Hoovers again.
Britannia, love to my English, Welsh, and Northern Irish brothers and sisters.
Well said.
I would take you for milkshake. Is that what it says?
I would take a milkshake for Nigel.
Oh,
throwing
good.
Milkshakes.
Yeah.
Carsoni says, hopefully the first. Let's see. Stuart the Brit says, Michelle, talk to your people. We did not go to the pub, and we are here with you. Question mark.
Oh my word! Why is that? Oh,
don't take offense. Here's the deal: we are in the chat, but we also want to play the actual footage that you come here for. So we're trying to get to the comments. We're trying to get to the comments, and I'm so glad that you guys are here with us. I'm sorry you gave up going to pub.
Good old Nige. I'm ashamed to admit I doubted him once.
You know, and that happens. That happens. You know, here we have the Cincinnati Bengals football team. They do okay sometimes. They do very poorly at times. And you stick with them no matter what.
The UK needs to now unite under our four flags and become one again against the common enemy of the Middle East. And united we stand, divided we fall.
Speaking of these flags, that's one thing that
Nigel handles situations like Trump 40 chess. And that is absolutely 100%
well said,
true.
Jim. When they were made to take the flags down at the end of that, you know, Nigel's epic speech there. And she's like, take your flags and get out. Go on and leave. They literally were wanting to banish. They had banished flags of each individual country.
So
and
weird.
You know what? It's actually, it reminds me of here in the United States. If you go into a bar, you're not allowed to wear colors. What that means is if you're part of a biker gang, you can't walk into the pub with your biker gang stuff on because you might start a fight where someone could get injured. That's not going to happen in the European Parliament. So the fact that they're literally telling you to deny your own country, it's very, very
They're so
wrong.
totalitarian. So I do have an article. Ignore the Brexit Day party poopers. It's time to celebrate. Don't gloat. Don't be too triumphalist. How do I say that? Triumphal. Don't wave your flags too boisterously. Don't say or do anything that might offend the sad, pained Remainers. And actually, before the Wincome one, there's another video with. I think that you should play just to kind of get the sad portion of it. It's a Nigel interview. I think it's Channel 4 or BBC or something like that. It's a Brexit Day roundups, like 4 or 5 minutes. Remainers who will be huddled in their homes, looking with the bemusement and concern upon the terrible new world that will be born at 11 p.m. today, who has been born, and you're still here, I do believe. All of these warnings are being issued to leavers today as we gear up for our Brexit Day celebrations. Be humble, we're told. Be magnanimous. Be quiet. And the party pooping isn't only coming from Europhiles who think the end of our membership of the EU is tantamount to the end of days, like London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who has expressed concern that after Brexit Day we might see a rise in xenophobic hate crimes. Yes, that's right, Sadiq. Us leavers are a racist pogrom in waiting, just one Nigel Farage speech away from becoming deranged lunatic. Seriously, mate, give it a rest. Can't you go one day without calling us racist? No, even Brexiteers are calling for subdued, timid celebrations. Good egg and ERG stalwart Steve Baker has party shamed his fellow Leavers by saying he will quietly raise a glass to Brexit in the privacy of his own home rather than whooping and cheering in the streets. If you're in Europe, right? If you're in EU, if you're in the UK right now, open your door, bang a pot with a spoon, and say it's Brexit Day.
I
Do
should
it
have
for
brought a pot and
me.
a
Do it
spoon
for
down.
me.
That's what we do when it's New Year.
Yes. The soul getting on my wick, he says. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure it's annoying. I'm going to be honest. I want to gloat. Just for one day, just for a couple hours, in fact, I want to cheer the triumph of Brexit. Bellow my delight that we won, y'all won. And celebrate loudly and colourfully our hard-won leaving of the EU. Imagine if we, defeating Britain, had decided, let's just not make a big deal out of the Remainers versus the Leavers. Y'all know, I know where you come from. The first is the sheer gall of those Remain campaigners who are telling us to be nice and quiet and respectful, and those who disagree with us. Pot, kettle, black. For 3.5 years, hardcore Remain activists, it must always be stated, ordinary good Remain voters, paraded through the streets like an army of sanctimony. They waved their EU flags like mad. They painted their faces blue with yellow stars all over them. Emily Thornberry wore in actual newspapers, and demagogues and Russian bots brainwashed us muppets into voting for Brexit. Place guides moaning about Brexit. To say these processions lack decorum is an understatement of epic proportion. They were mass, noisy displays of middle-class arrogance. They were expressions, in fact, of what the great Barbara Castle described in the 1970s as Euro-jingoism. The belief among intellectuals that the political class that being pro-European made them superior to many of their own fellow citizens and also to other continents. Witness Europhiles' disdain for America and its chlorinated chicken today, for example. Right? It's not a good thing. You can disdain the chlorinated chicken. I'm all about that.
We do too. We've got a freezer full of non-chlorinated chickens.
Okay, that was always the great irony of the hardcore Remainerisms and not Remain voters. Its adherents constantly referred to Leavers as jingonists. I don't even. What does that even mean? What does jingonist mean? Tell me.
Oh, it could be a bad word you're saying.
Yeah. They often express the moral chauvinism that is the core of this. Whatever. And the second irritating thing about the attempt to suppress Brexiteers' strength of feeling on this historic day is that it fails to see what is really being celebrated today. Democracy. Look, I really don't want to gloat. Well, not for very long. I certainly don't want to gloat over Remain voters. I have friends and family members who voted Remain. Good people. Wrong about the EU, but good people nonetheless. If this had gone the other way, they would have gloated their hearts out.
They would have gloated their hearts out.
But I do want to revel in the triumph of Brexit, in the victory of this tough battle to ensure the enactment of the largest democratic vote in UK history, in the victory of the voices of ordinary people over the stubborn Brexit blocking of an establishment that doesn't understand those people or like them very much. That is really worth celebrating, with flags and cheers and music and dancing, the works. If it offends you, don't worry, you'll get over it. Humility, they're calling for it. Humility is the low view of one's own importance. Heck no. Today is a celebration precisely of our importance, of the importance of ordinary people against an establishment that told us we were too thick and prejudiced to make big political decisions about the future of the UK. Brexit is the masses saying we're important. We matter. Our votes matter. Save your humility for church. Today, celebrate your importance, the importance of your vote, the importance of ensuring the democratic votes are always upheld. You guys, seriously, we were like, oh, Brexit, that's nice. Here goes Nigel Farage. Okay, that was really cool. It was really fun. We thought that you guys were going to leave. It was a thing. Like in 2016, we're showing the epic speeches to be like, hey, look, they left the EU. And they were like, but we're not gone yet. Like, what do you mean you're not gone yet? And so we stood by you guys for 4 years.
Right.
Has it been that long? 2016? Well, we didn't start till 17, so 3 years. 3 years. It's been 4 years for y'all. But for 3 years, 3 full years with Brexit. Look back at our titles. Brexit, Nigel, Brexit, Nigel, Brexit, Nigel. Oh, my word, y'all. We feel it with you. Every single Sunday we did something on Brexit. How many Sundays is that?
What if from now on, it's just once a year when we do it on January 31st, Brexit Day.
Oh, my word. The EU has accepted they need to change. They now want more power, more integration, and more bureaucracy.
Here's the deal.
Italy and Hungary next.
I want to make a prediction because I believe that we are going to see an Italy exit, and I think we're going to see a Hungary exit, and I think we're going to see a Pole exit.
Wait.
But
I like that from Gio. Leah, I love you. I somehow always get your jokes. Like, this is a thing. Like, you wouldn't, but I somehow get them.
Yeah, that's good, Gio.
You know
that's
what?
Nice of you.
That's good.
She wants people to get her jokes.
I make jokes around this house all the time, and I'm like, hello, applause line. Okay.
So, I think that the EU is going to get smaller as people leave.
Italy, Hungary.
But I think that they are going to
get more powerful, more evil, and more sinister.
Yes.
And I stole the words in her mouth. I stole them. Just like the EU steals things from y'all.
You didn't do your light.
So, the UK will now be forced to pay.
Oops.
The euros? We have
350 billion euros, or what is the amount? Very little is heard about that.
I don't know.
You know, I'm not sure.
They haven't been hammered out.
I don't think it's been. They are still paying. I don't know how much they're paying. There is a transition period.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, that now is a good time to go to.
There's a comment right there. The Brexiteers were saying, we just want someone to listen to what we say.
Yeah.
It seems the EU is saying, listen to what I say.
Right.
Stuart the Brit says, Europe is there only because of Britain. Or Commonwealth and America. I'll have my flag waving and the stars and the stripes. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so now is a good time, I think, to go to. Is this the one you wanted me to play? This is one of them.
No, that isn't. This is that's a RT one. I'm talking about one. Go ahead and click on open them. We'll just see them. No.
Transition period explained.
No,
Let's go and play that though.
Okay, yeah, but that's not where I was going. But that's fine. We'll play it. And then close it out so we know we've watched it.
Right.
January, Britain leaves the EU, but that doesn't mean Brexit is done. In fact, you'll still be hearing quite a lot about it for the rest of the year. That's because the UK now enters a transition period that is scheduled to go on until the 31st of December. During that period, the UK will stay closely aligned with the EU, effectively staying within the single market and customs union, but we will no longer be a member of the political institutions. That means no more MEPs, representation or a role in the decision-making aspects of the EU. During the transition period, the UK is free to negotiate trade deals with countries across the world. There's already been talk about agreements with the US and Japan, but it's a trade deal with the EU which is likely to take centre stage. The UK and the EU have agreed that a free trade agreement will be the priority in the talks. But if both sides want to get everything done by this December when the transition period is scheduled to come to an end, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. March 1st is the date the EU has set to have its own negotiating position agreed. At that point, the European Commission will have legal authorisation to start negotiating with the UK. In June, there's due to be a summit where Britain and the 27 EU countries will discuss the progress of the trade talks. That month is also the deadline for the UK to request an extension to the transition period beyond the current December 2020 deadline if the UK wants it. November 26th is the cut-off date the EU has provided for the trade deal to be agreed, so that MEPs in the European Parliament can give their final approval. In practice, that leaves only about 6 months to negotiate the future relationship between the UK and the EU. If the UK doesn't agree terms to a new trade deal with the EU and hasn't asked for an extension to the transition period, then on the 31st of December, Britain will revert back to World Trade Organization rules, which would be the same outcome as a no-deal Brexit. So a lot of work to be done over the next...
Okay, guys, Michelle is getting her St. George flag. It's pretty big. So I'm not sure where we're going to put it, but we're going to put it... I want you guys to know we have it up. All of the UK pro-EU MEPs are crying because we sank their gravy boat. Donna Terry. Never underestimate the British resolve. We went through 2 world wars on the front line and the Blitz. We still went back for more. Listen to our concerns versus listen to what I say. Poland.
If I put it anywhere else, you're not going to see what we can do here. So
has been receiving money from the EU. This year, they have to pay back.
Not going to happen. They will leave.
What do you think about that? The Polish will be next. They are very patriotic people. The EU want our fishing waters. Boris better not give them anything, says Belinda Kennedy. So you are right about that one. Well, let's just knock out some of these videos here.
So what changes after tonight? The short answer is actually not all that much. If you're travelling to or from Europe, everything is pretty much the same. Because we're leaving with a deal, you won't need at least 6 months on your passport to travel to an EU country. That was the potential no-deal consequence. And you can still use the fast-track EU lanes at airports too. You can still drive in the EU, so your UK licence will cover you during the transition period, which lasts till the end of the year. Travelling with a pet, well, that is also fine. The EU pet passport scheme will last till the end of the transition period. And if you do business with the EU, it's a similar story. No changes till the end of 2020. Goods and services can be traded as normal because we'll still be part of the customs union and the single market. But as you've probably noticed, all of this could change after that transition period comes to an end. What does it change to? Well, that depends on the terms of the new trade deal the government says it's going to negotiate over the next 11 months. But for the time being, if you live, work or study in the EU, your rights and those of your family won't change. The EU country where you live should set up a system for applying for resident status before the end of the year. And if you're an EU citizen living in the UK, your rights won't change, but you'll need to apply to the UK settlement scheme before the end of the transition period.
All right. So there's some we're just working on some of those. Let's see. Where is that? I'm going to skip that one for now. Here we go. Full Brexit journey in under 2 minutes.
Answer is, we're out.
The country requires fresh leadership.
Brexit means Brexit. A general election. You're joking. Not another one?
We cannot see any way at all that the Conservatives can get to the 326 mark, and we think it's pretty clear that there is going to be a hung parliament.
I believe our best days lie ahead of us.
Look, we're just like Swiss Knights.
Order! The noes have it. The noes have it. The noes have it.
And again!
Flexible extension. Do not waste this time.
I will shortly leave the job.
I have accepted.
Suspend Parliament.
Not acceptable.
Unlawful.
I do see a pathway.
We will pause this legislation.
The Prime Minister, who said last month that he'd rather die in a ditch.
I'd rather be dead in a ditch.
Than ask for another Brexit delay, has now written to the European Council President accepting a 3-month extension.
We're going to go out there with the biggest campaign this party has ever mounted.
Get Brexit done.
9 years to fund our NHS.
A little bit patronising.
The mess of Brexit.
Boris Johnson's deal is unacceptable.
I don't even know where that rumour's going.
Our exit poll is suggesting that there will be a Conservative majority.
That was a big day.
We don't give up.
I wish you well.
Bye-bye.
The ayes have it.
Royal assent. European Union Withdrawal Agreement Act 2020.
Oh my gosh, that was like so good. Fantastic. That was so good. I want to read. You guys are really doing a good job on these comments. So I want to we'll close in a second. Let's see here. My mother is English. My father is British before Scottish. Explain how your father is British before Scottish. What does that even mean? Beautiful flag. I'm British born, north of the Wall. Bojo just commissioned 6 fast gunboats for the Royal Navy to protect the UK territorial and fishing waters. 3 are on active service right now. Let's see. Italy and Hungary possibly. As is a question, Stuart, I want to know, what does that mean? Loving this stream. Thank you very much. I love our variety of British accents. Me too. You guys are awesome. We can only do one, but we're working on it.
I've got several that I can do.
They kind of flow as like one.
I think they're good. I've got different ones.
Mikey says, hopefully we can get more fishery boats too. Lots of merchant navy guns that could use the work. Freedom! Little freedom. Mikey to right, where I live, we have one trawler now that used to be loads. Let's see, you can do a proper fishing deal now. It's complicated, but our islanders understand. Okay, no fishing deals, they can buy it from us. Whoa.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see what's up next here.
That's
okay.
The
This
whole
was
rally.
hilarious. No.
Oh,
This
yeah,
was
the pro-EU rally
in Edinburgh, and I just thought that it was hilarious. So I wanted to play a piece of this.
Okay, go ahead.
This is kind of like the vigil. It's really sad. I'm sad for you. I'm sad for you because you're deluded. You're under delusions. That's why I'm sad for you. Yep. We're not going to play any more than that. I just wanted you to see it.
Okay.
Oh, this was good.
Here we go.
So of course we are differing. Of course the chairman or the president of the commission, Mr. Delors, said at press conference the other day that he wanted the European Parliament to be the democratic body of the community, he wanted the Commission to be the executive, and he wanted the Council of Ministers to be the Senate. No.
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 Perhaps the Labour Party would give all those things up easily. Perhaps they would agree to a single currency, to total abolition of the pound sterling. Perhaps being totally incompetent with monetary matters, they'd be only too delighted to hand over the full responsibility, as they did to the IMF, to a central bank. The fact is, they have no competence on money, no competence on the economy, so yes, the right honourable gentleman would be glad to hand it all over.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I just wanted you to get a feel for factory there. Here, wait. Let me get to a comment real quick. Surf Psycho says, "I'm from Poland. We don't want the EU here."
Okay.
Well said. Belinda Kennedy says, "I'm Scottish and voted to leave. Not all Scots wanted to remain." Thank you.
There we go. I'd love to hear your accent. Now, what's so funny, you guys are really talking about the fisheries. You're talking about a lot of people are out of work. Maybe they become fishermen. Like one of the greatest British professions. You're an island. You're a couple islands.
Right.
And that would be a really, you should be able to fish in your own waters. And I think that, having some regulation on the size of the trawlers, the size of those the family boats, small boats, so that it doesn't become large, star-kissed tuna fish. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to have regulations, regulate out the giant corporations and say you've got to stay under this amount. If you're going to, so that way everybody has a chance to be their own boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm praying for you guys, to be able to be your own bosses. You guys live a little bit more of a natural life there, but what you're missing is the opportunity to be your own bosses in a lot of ways. So we're praying that this will do that. And
we're going to play this later. We're not going to play that right now. Keep going.
Yeah, and it won't. And the corporatism and the trade won't ruin what you guys do. Make Britain great again, and if you're going to bring in trade, I know that a lot of the capitalists, they do see an eye for bringing in cheaper goods. No, you got to make Britain great first. You have to buy British first, and that's what I'm hoping, that it won't go all the way to like allowing in.
You didn't want to play this one, did you?
Dyed stuff and things like that.
Probably not.
No, we can skip that one.
Okay.
There was another...
I didn't open up every single tab, so there might be. And we could play Anne. Is this the Anne one? This is Channel 4. I don't know if I want to risk it.
Oh yeah, it is a Channel 4 one. You're missing one. So
I'm not showing them my screen right now. So
go ahead and play that Nigel.
This is the rest of the Nigel show. We're not going to play the whole show.
No, but it's a lot of
more
good
callers.
Things keep coming in. Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Well, you go and enjoy it. Steve, thank you very much. And Ollie says, I'm in Parliament Square. He says the celebrations are building. It's a party atmosphere, a sense of hope and optimism for the future. Thank you for everything. Ollie, I'll be with you in Parliament Square. I'll be there from 9 o'clock right through that big moment at 11 o'clock. And my sense is a lot of people are beginning to gather down there. Gilly is calling from Bury St Edmunds. Gilly, good evening.
Hi, Nigel.
Good evening. So, what does this mean to you, Gilly?
Well, it's quite emotional because I joined UKIP in 1994 with my husband.
Right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and we've leafleted, we've marched, we've done everything. And actually, I didn't actually think we'd get to this point. Sadly, my husband died 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
So he hasn't actually seen this day. But I shall be opening a bottle of English champagne tonight.
Very good.
And celebrating with my
Now, you
younger
can't
son.
call it champagne because of EU rules, Gilly, so you have to call it sparkling wine, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's been a long journey for you, then?
Yes.
And how do you feel? You know, do you feel optimistic for the future the way that I do?
Oh, God, yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, always have been.
Fantastic. Well, Gilly, all I can say, as somebody who, well, UKIP was much of my life, and I was chairman of it, campaign manager of it, leader of it. Gilly, thank you. Let's go to Peter.
All right, let me read some comments here. Robin says, once more, Nigel grinning like the cat who ate the cream. Jim West says, Norway has a fishing agreement independently with the EU. Gio says, the war is over. Now we fight for resources. Yeah. KS says, salute patriots.
Okay, you can try to find that. It's just a Nigel. It's like an interview. It's like an LBC. No, it's like a BBC one. I'm going to play Kate Hui here.
Big day after years of wrangling in Parliament. How are you feeling tonight on the night that we finally leave?
Well, I'm just very happy for all those people who stuck true to how they voted in the referendum. It's been a long, long battle. Lots of times when many of them all over the country must have sat there and looked at Parliament and thought, what on earth is this all about? We voted to leave. Tonight, legally, we're out of the European Union. Now, yes, of course, we can, doom and gloom and all the stuff that the media will go on about over the next, what will happen in the next year. But we're out of the European Union. That's what people voted for. And I feel, well, I'm not, I don't think, I think we're all celebrating that, but I don't think people are out there sort of gloating. But we have put up with a lot of stick and a lot of aggression, a lot of nastiness on all, it's been on all sides. But I think tonight people will just feel, finally, democracy has actually been proved to work.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is.
Is it really important?
It was just good because it kind of gave like a sad, like, no, it's got to be one of those ones. It's one of the...
So Barry
it's been sending me tons of links. Yeah,
sends so many links that I have to turn it off on my phone, or my phone would literally be going off every 5 minutes. No, every 30 seconds. But thank you to Barry because our entire show is because of him.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So bring up. Go ahead. You said you'd have to turn it off, but a couple of those might have been it. So go ahead and try to find them.
What do you mean?
It was just an interview 40 years in. Like, I don't know if this is it or not.
They're going to be the only one up where I have to scroll up like 15 or 16 messages.
10 years ago, we started Legacy Box. If you're like us...
Skipping ad. That might be a good one, but that's not the one I'm talking about.
Forgive us.
Let's see.
Because those are all the rallies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was saying you'd have to scroll up. It could be a Sky News one. I don't know. We played that one. We played that one.
We did?
I think so. I'm not uncalm.
That might be it.
I had that one up. You said we probably won't play that. So I closed it.
Because I wonder if that was the one with... No. It had Nigel in it.
Okay,
so
just close that.
Let me go back here because I watched the whole rally here. Let me bring up a few. So many speakers.
Incredibly tireless worker. Please give a huge welcome. And
I didn't want to play this one because it's got Channel 4 in it. That's why.
Okay.
I have this one, but we'll just watch it behind us. Fine. literal live band. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any more classy than that. It's so awesome.
We did it!
I love Anne. I hope you guys can hear her.
What did we do? We did it! Now once more, let them hear that in 10 Downing Street. We did it!
She's so
and
great.
if we hadn't done it, Britain would not be now embarking on a future as a free country. But there is still lots more to do, because for the next 12 months there is going to be a major negotiation. And Mrs. von der Leyen says that there's going to have to be a level playing field. There will be no level playing field. We will be free to decide how we trade, what our laws are, how we control our borders.
Yes.
And the fact that tomorrow we will wake up in a free country.
It's got to feel so good.
Is due to the Brexit Party.
Brexit Party! Her accent is so great.
Because it was the Brexit Party that beginning last May, when we were the largest party in the entire European Parliament, it was we who began to get us out of the morass into which we had sunk. And if we hadn't done that, we would still be there. So we can take huge pride.
Pride.
And look at you all here today. You've come from all corners of the country. From Sunderland, from Barnsley, from Wales, and somewhere here are my colleagues from Plymouth.
Yeah!
And our strength lies in the fact that there are so many people, quiet people, ordinary people, people who don't want to be politicians, but who do want to live in a free country and who see nothing wrong with patriotism. So I think that we can all congratulate every single one of us. Of course, mainly it has been the doing of Nigel Farage.
Yay!
I had enough after 7 months. He's been doing it for 25 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will wake up in a free country with a glorious future. And we can be confident, dash it, we're the world's fifth largest economy.
It's impressive for a small little island.
We don't need anybody to prop us up or to tell us what to do. And of course we want to cooperate and to have good relations, but there is a difference between a sovereign state and a super state, and we will never be part of their super state. So thank you. Thank every single one of you here for what you've done. Now today, let us rejoice in the day that the Brexit Party made.
Well done, Anne. Isn't she great?
Oh, yes, she is so great.
Comments.
All right, let's see. Super Ann. Belinda says, we are an island. The EU is stopped us fishing. Just think about that. Streaky Bacon says, shout out to Anne, our top UK granny.
Our government are still red, maybe socialists.
Yeah. Patriots love Anne, says Anglo-Saxon.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but it can be destroyed in a day.
Gio says, most people didn't know who Anne Widdecombe was. Jim West says, I was in Poland in October. My friend there says Russia is still everywhere. You know, that's a whole other topic, but Poland, the Polish have a reason to hate the Russians. I'm not going to take that away from them. Let's see. Brit says, Belinda, actually, we are over 2,000 islands, which makes the EU stopping us fishing even worse.
Europe awake before it's too late.
Let's see. UKIP did the damage. And I was actually going to say that when she was up there talking about the Brexit party. I'm like, well, UKIP started it all. Without UKIP, you would never have had or won the referendum to start with.
And a true Christian lady. And that was something that Nigel spoke about too on about the UKIP. And he said, this time I'm not going to walk away. He was so tired in 2016. He did. He admits, I just walk away. You can't give he's one guy. He's not perfect. You know, but he realized, you know, he stayed with it.
The future looks bright after being in the gloom of the EU. Gio says, Anne is one of my favorite women on the earth.
She has a Devonshire accent.
I love that she has a Devonshire accent. It's very, it almost sounds Scottish
It's very Scottish. It's very deep and guttural.
Gio says, our small island is our home. It should never be a home for millions from third world like Tony Blair did to rub our noses in diversity. Brit Baza says, we can now be a Great Britain and a Great Britain pride back. Get a Great Britain pride back in our country, and the British lion will roar again. The Brits are awake. Exactly.
All right, let's play Jerusalem.
Okay. Do you want to play any more of the party stuff, or just go straight to the Jerusalem song first?
Well, we can play.
So, Brit Baza, a.k.a. Barry, had asked me, he always asks me to sing this song. He asked me to play it specifically for today.
How about we play that version?
Okay. We're going to play a different version, Barry. I hope that's okay. There's going to be an ad. I'm going to skip the ad. There we go. Come on. There we go.
And so
it should go. I'm sure it starts off silent.
This is for, I like this one because this is going to be the U.S. and the U.K. Great
that's fun.
Relationships together.
Yeah.
So this is cadets, U.S. cadets singing Jerusalem.
Nice. It's a really hard song to sing. I should know. Barry. Talk while you're listening. You know, for those of you that are here in the United States and this all just seems so like, what is it like over there to be British? What is it like to be reclaiming your independence from a European, like, even when we declared our independence, it was way different than this globalist agenda that is so dangerous to everything that you guys hold near and dear. And the Brits have this, I would say that their sense of patriotism, it's very different than ours, because it goes back so far.
It goes back so
It's
far.
so deep, it's so embedded.
Yeah.
And so when they hear a song like this, Jerusalem, I think it's not better or anything like that, but it's just a little bit different than when we hear our patriotic songs here in the United States. It's just so deep. That's what I'm trying to say. And so when we cover this and when we play these songs, you need to acknowledge the fact that this is a lovely, beautiful moment to throw off tyranny, which is what the European Union was trying to do to. You know what it's like when somebody pulls the wool over your eyes and they convince you to do something and you think it's the right thing at the time, and then they change the rules. And then you realize that they were just trying to hoodwink you. They were trying to use you. They were stealing from you.
That's the EU is about. And so to get out from that, to shake it off and say, we made a mistake. And this is who we are, and you get to go back, and you get to, maybe fly the St. George flag. Like, this is a flag that they don't want you to fly. They don't want you to fly the Union Jack. They don't. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's just so amazing. I'm so excited for you guys. Tonight, I just feel like this date was like etched, in history to be January 31st. Such an important day. It's so incredible. A lot of blood was shed to keep our island, says Belinda. People want to live with their neighbors globally, not have a large government that rules the globe, says Wicked Sight. Well said. Stuart the Brit says, we do not shout, but we are a people. No more brother wars. Polexit. All right. That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to go to, I think, let's go ahead and do the countdown. Again? And let's do the Nigel speech into the countdown. Oh, okay. So, so we still need these. So yeah, let's bring up this that I have up right now, and we want to find where. Yeah, there we have this one or this one. Wait, no, we're not going to use that one. Yeah, we can. Either one. I don't know who's. Where was Nigel? Nigel was like over here or something. Nope, we're not going to play that because we don't want to. Really paring down here. This was the Ann Whitcomb speech. We just played that. So we can play that. So this is live. It's still going on, I think. So we just have to go back and find it. Let's see. Well, no, we had just played it. We were like right there. I don't think it's been updated. Can I for a moment just take you back to December? I think not. We were right here. It had been refreshed to be live. It's not live anymore. Said we must stay in Europe. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. Democratic nations. Okay. Let's bring in Nigel's speech. But not pro the European Union. Wait a second. Celebrate the fact. We want to get you his whole speech here. Well, not long now, ladies and gentlemen. There's about 16 minutes, 15 minutes. Well, they're changing out speakers. Yeah. And of course, there's one person we've not yet heard from. I wonder who that is. Here's, of course, we love this man. The person who's fought the longest for this great cause. Over 25 years. He's had all sorts of abuse and vitriol and challenges. But his determination, his courage. Hang on. It's once again a glitch in your own life. So closely for the last 18 months. And my word, we've had some exciting times and one or two challenges. But we've prevailed because without Nigel, as we all know, it. And without Nigel, there would have been no Brexit party. He's here now. He's with us. Give him a massive welcome. What? He's a little bit shy sometimes, you know. It's classy. Do we want Nigel? I can't hear you. Do we want Nigel? Yes. Here he is, the one and only, Mr. Nigel Farage. I think my voice would have been wrong. Nigel. Nigel. Live it up, Nigel. This is one of the greatest moments of your life. Like, literally. I'd love to see Theresa May's face right now. treasonous Masfaith. Yeah, thanks.
This has got to be the greatest.
Good evening, London!
Good evening and early morning
Well,
from
maybe
Leeds
when
Fryer Horse.
In just
Fire.
14
Fire.
minutes
Is that how you say
time,
it, fire? I said fryer.
Fire.
something
Sorry.
truly remarkable is going to happen. Something that I fought for 27 years. And something that many thousands of you gave your time, love, and money for.
Y'all did it, man.
We faced
so
an
proud of y'all.
establishment that never even wanted to listen to us. An establishment that never wanted that referendum to take place. An establishment that has tried for 3.5 years to frustrate the will of the greatest democratic mandate ever seen in this country. But in 13 minutes' time, we will leave the European Union!
You did it.
And we did it! We did it! We transformed the landscape of our country. And there are some that say
Trump will win for a great year,
we
guys.
shouldn't celebrate tonight. Well, we are going to celebrate tonight. And we are celebrating tonight because we know that this is the single most important moment in the modern history of our great nation. That is what is happening tonight.
There's not a thing
And
as,
I think
that
there's
you
a
guys
lot
can
to
do to repay
celebrate,
Nigel,
don't you?
but your children
The first
will be
thing
free.
to
That's
celebrate
good.
That's really good.
is that we will no longer have to listen to Mr. Juncker,
Yes!
to Mr. Guy Verhofstadt.
Can we just make fun of him from
No
the outside?
longer
Yes.
will our prime ministers be talked down to by unelected bureaucrats in
Thank
Brussels.
Elected
Thank you.
We should celebrate the fact that we are going to be able, across the road here, to make our own laws by people we can hold directly accountable.
Oh my gosh,
in
wait a
general
minute. Why didn't
elections.
anybody tell me that you guys weren't watching?
We,
Uh-huh.
in
Nigel,
11 minutes,
you're just listening.
Oh, shoot.
I need feedback in the chat.
become a
Hey, Michelle,
democratic,
you didn't switch over
self-governing,
screens.
Okay.
independent,
He's
and I hope proud
He's down there for 10 more
nation.
minutes, honey. It'll be fine.
It's a long
I'm glad you
speech.
figured it out. Woo!
And we should celebrate.
But it's cool. I can say I had this behind him. It's like
We
being
should
there.
celebrate that in 10 minutes' time,
Shame my
We're
dad
getting there,
passed
aren't
away a
we?
year before.
3.5
He was
years
a
was a
huge
long
Nigel fan
time.
and Brexit
10 minutes
supporter.
doesn't sound too bad to me. We should celebrate the fact that, freed from the constraints of the European Union, we once again
I'm sorry, Jim.
will be able to find our place in the world. We are able to re-engage with the Commonwealth, with America, with our friends all over the world. It will be a...
Wait.
Hang on.
It's okay. It just
Suppose
stops.
their
It's
own
okay.
live stream.
It's their own live stream.
Well,
It
there's
was
one
doing it when I was watching it.
above all, that we must celebrate tonight, and it's this. The only reason we're here tonight is because Westminster became utterly detached from ordinary people in this country.
I'm so
And those
proud
people
of every single
started to
Brexiteer
speak.
that put up with
Those
racist name
people
calling and being called
started
stupid.
to rise. Those people forced a referendum. Those people forced a general election. And those people, despite all the flaws in our system,
We
for
would
the
love
first
to.
time in history, the people have beaten the establishment, and that we must celebrate. The real winner tonight,
Global is not the way.
the real winner tonight
is democracy. Democracy has won.
That's their own reporters that you're hearing in the background. I don't have anything else open.
As somebody who believes that we should be pro-Europe, but not pro the European Union, I believe we've now set an example for our friends right across the continent.
Yes!
I want a Europe of free, sovereign, democratic nations.
Everybody
we'll
free!
trade with them. We'll work with them. We'll cooperate with them. We'll have reciprocity, but we will not take orders from them.
Yes! There you go. Michelle has gorgeous hair in it. It's good comment. We would, yeah, and Donna, you're celebrating. We're all celebrating with you.
I'm shy. I'm shy.
Donna says, I know if you were over there, you'd be celebrating with them. My voice would be
So
raw.
we've got a lot to celebrate.
There's
and a lot to
another,
look forward
the
to.
reporters
Now,
are
I know
talking on this
there are
stream.
big battles to come. I know there are people here concerned what happens with fisheries. People
Do
here
I get my
concerned
64
with
vetted now?
whether the European Court of Justice will have a say in the future. People concerned about regulatory alignment. People concerned about whether we could be betrayed again. But
He wants
remember
his
this.
Corvette now. I get it.
Remember this. What happens now
56 is the one.
in 8 minutes' time?
Woo! This is a replay, but
we're replaying it.
Like,
what happens in 8 minutes' time marks the point of no return. Once we have left, we are never ever going back.
we are happy, you guys. We're so happy with you. What a great night this has been. Still celebrating.
The rest, in a sense, becomes detail. We will be free. We will be sovereign. We will be proud. We will be independent. We've won a very great victory. And
The people have already knighted Nigel.
Today, Tony Blair. But I'm going to surprise you. I really am going to surprise you. Tony Blair has said today, there is no point looking back. We've made a decision. We are leaving the European Union.
Okay, so this is hilarious. Somebody says Brad Pitt should play Nigel Farage in a biopic. Who do you think should play Nigel? Put that in the comments. That'd be awesome.
How about that?
I'm going to think about that one. Who do I think?
A crowd of Brexiteers cheer Tony Blair. How about that?
Somebody with a lot of
What is
spunk.
happening is our country is now united.
Somebody can smile
our
a lot.
country is coming together. Nearly everybody, even Lord Mandelson this morning, accepting this is
I know.
Some-
Please, I want to do it. Somebody cut this clip out and send it to Ricky Gervais.
Oh my word, wouldn't that be fantastic?
Please,
if Ricky Gervais played
Nigel.
Nigel Farage, he'd have to lose a few rounds. But
okay,
he'd be smiling and happy. Like, yes! You aren't laughing now, are you? Could you imagine? Ricky, I know you're a Remainer. I know you're a lefty, but you would make the very best Nigel Farage in a biopic. Yes. Yes.
Play it, though, if it was going to be against Nigel.
Some of the greatest Brits have been called Nigel. Nigel Mansell. Nigel Benn.
Yet it's not considered a manly name. It's manly to
I
me.
like it. I like it a lot. I'm celebrating with a bowl of bat soup.
Oh, disgusting.
Come on, ladies. I know you would see that in an instant if it got announced. What was it?
What would we see in an instant if it got announced?
If Brad Pitt was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
What is a Brad Pitt?
What?
We still need to be on guard for a few years, though. UK, let's not let the, the bad dudes in Parliament forget who votes. You can't barge the Farage. Farage. As I said it.
You said barge.
The happy breed of men, this England. Oh, my word. Okay, I'm voting Ricky Gervais. We have a vote for...
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig would be...
He'd be happy enough.
He could try. He's an actor.
Happening. There are some, of course, who struggle. This is the new 50p coin.
Boris's feet are burning. They're holding his feet to that fire. I get you.
And Lord Adonis, who, as somebody said earlier, who is he anyway? Lord Adonis says he won't use the new 50p coin, but you know what?
I have to smile like the whole time they were acting.
Now look like members of the Flat Earth Society. The fact is,
I ain't gonna read that comment.
The fact
I'm
is
kicking.
that
I'm not getting kicked off of YouTube.
over.
I'm kidding.
We have won.
That's a funny joke. I like it.
And now we
I don't know who Idris Idela
and
is.
now we have in Boris Johnson a charismatic Prime Minister who is saying all of the right things. All of the right things.
He's saying them, doesn't mean them.
I would ever see a Conservative Prime Minister say any of the right things. But he's saying all of the right things. And in many ways, our hopes
Whoever
and our
played the
trust
guy in
are
church
now
is
bound
Churchill.
up with
I don't know who
what
that
Boris
was.
Johnson does. We want him to keep to his promises. We want him to make us free. And I promise you that I and all of you will keep him, won't we? We will keep him to his promises.
Y'all gonna do it?
Who knows? I think there's a good chance he'll deliver. I think the Conservative Party learned a lesson in those European elections they never, ever want to repeat. So let
Nobody
us
can
be
play Nigel. You're
optimistic.
right.
Let us think about the future of our great nation. Let us think about the example that we are giving to the rest of Europe and the free world as well. Let us celebrate tonight as we've never done before. You and all of us have made history, and this is the greatest moment in the modern history of our great nation. Thank you!
Okay, guys. We're gonna watch the countdown again. I can see Nigel being knighted. Sir Nigel Farage has a nice big ring to it. Nobody terrifies the Tory like Nigel. Just a hint he might return will set them straight. We're going to watch this countdown again. And the farmers are happy tonight. So guys, we're also going to keep Boris's feet to the fire. This is not the last we're hearing about Brexit or Nigel. It's going to go on for a while.
Yes.
I have a feeling we're going to see Nigel's face talking about politics forever, which I look forward to greatly.
It is, you know, that Nigel deserves a break. He says he wants to come to the U.S. I think he's probably going to help campaign for Trump, which is huge because he's coming off of a massive win, and he's a celebrity, and he's a rock star, and so he really is, he's doing world good.
He is. Goes to show you what one determined individual can do. Bravo, Nigel.
Boris is a fairly liberal conservative compared to a Thatcher, but can still get it right. Britain will still have a fight on their hands. They still have enemies within the EU and the elites. It's very true.
Britain needs to really boost its agriculture. They have great potential in farming.
Should we fast forward to the countdown?
I figured that it's got to be really close, so I didn't want to like. Here it comes.
All right, less than a minute. You're right.
Yes!
Guys, it's just so awesome.
This was such an epic moment, you guys. Play it again and again.
Yes, it feels like New Year's.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet, but it's the beginning.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Brexit Day! I could watch it again and again. It's so great. This is a perfect time for a British political resurgence in nationalism, says Streaky Bacon. It's just so awesome.
You know, it's ringing at 8 o'clock here. Exactly.
Oh, it is! That feels like the Lord.
It's 1 o'clock there now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
2 hours later. Look at all these happy Brits. You happy Brits, you are British happy. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it'll hold with my flowers on my head. There. Put your St. George here. I've got a clip there. Wait, where'd my clip go? I don't know where it went. Never
It's
mind.
okay. I can just hold it for a second.
Okay.
It's our St. George flag.
It's the funnest thing. It's just so awesome. We have gone with you guys for
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the national anthem.
for 3 years with this. It's so wonderful. Look how
I had
serious
to
they all
rattle
got.
my Brexiteer saber quite a few times.
Put your head on.
It's fine. We're good. But they wear these flat caps.
We played this to start with. We're playing it again. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, though.
Rule Britannia! I think I should probably just play that next.
We didn't play that one? It's a monumental day. I hope you guys ride high on this for a long time. Now, granted, yes, you have a battle ahead of you. You have a fight to make sure that in the transition period, you guys make all the right choices and the right laws. And like Nigel said, he's going to be holding Boris's feet to the fire. You guys will be holding Boris's feet to the fire. Send Prince Andrew to Europe.
Okay, this is good. Now, I'm going to play this. This is the last night of the proms for 2009.
Tell them what the proms are.
Tell them what the proms are.
Because you don't know. So they do this every year. They have the proms, and it's just this big UK national chorus orchestra celebration, and you guys are always actually sending us videos of the
proms are concerts which are part of a big music festival. Proms is short for Promenade Concert. The proms are organized by the BBC Proms, and it's very patriotic.
It is, yes.
It's very patriotic.
That's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
This is really fun. It's gonna get loud. Sing it, girl. Good night. Girl!
This was the charter of the land, and God
The whole everyone joins in. They are all singing. How can you sing this song and want to stay in the EU? It's impassable.
Hillsborough!
I'm just feeling it with her. How are you doing that? Look, these happy people. How are you supposed to rule your waves without your fishing rights?
This is when it was kind of more okay to wave the Union Jack.
Right. She put the hat back on. Mean it. She's trying to get her sword out. Whoa! She got it in time. Oh, she did! She did it! Here, it slows down. That's so stinking fun. Where the look says, never shall be slaves. Beyond My Purview says, love what Nigel done to the EU other day was epic. Jim West says her vocal cords went on vacation for a year after that. I can believe that. It's unnatural.
How do you practice
to be able to do? I have no idea. Oh my goodness.
She deserves that little smirk on her face. Yeah, I did it.
You did.
I did it. And yes, you did, ma'am.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you deserve every accolade you get from that.
I love her outfit there.
I don't think she's done.
She's got more. She's gonna sing it again.
Well, she ain't done. I want to be the drum guy.
Yeah, drum guy. Look at all of those people! Oh my goodness! How do you even have a place that big? Wow, there you are. Now you did it. Did your thing. Y'all done did it. Went and did it. She's waving that flag.
That has got to be the best way to end this whole show.
I bet she voted leave.
I would have, if I were her.
I bet she did. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Huh. Well, guys.
That was really fun.
That's our show for the night. That's how we got to end it. On a high note.
You can't beat that.
We ended it on a high note. Aha!
But
on the highest note in the land.
Gio, did you get that joke before I did? Because I was a little late on that one. Definitely a little bit late on that one. No, don't try to sing it. Just don't. No, now that she did it. Don't try. Don't. You just said you wanted to
I have to bring it down. She goes all the way high. I have to bring it low. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves.
She can't not sing it.
Britain never, ever, ever shall be slaves. Because of my cold. It's left lasting.
Okay.
Mom thinks that
it's just been such a ride.
Happy Brexit Day to you. To you and you and you. I don't know. Make up my own song. In my own key. That's what Brexit's all about, man.
Yeah, so I had wanted
Dancing in your
to
own
make
key.
some sort of special British dish, and we didn't get a chance to do that today.
Still remember the Ramonas being interviewed at the rally after the referendum results. Not one of them could name a single member of the EU.
But they love so much. Dave says it was bloody embarrassing. Stay away from China, yes. Brabaz says, Michelle, you have to get to a concert and listen to this live. It literally takes your breath away. Believe me, I have been to the Royal Albert Hall on a proms night.
Thanks to Worth a Look, Justin. He is always sending us links from the very beginning. Nigel links.
You know
Check
what
out
we
his
haven't
channel.
done? We're gonna play it on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're gonna play your song on Sunday.
Worth a Look is a famous UK rapper. He's got some new singles he's
really,
dropping.
really good. Dropping. You just said dropping.
Yep.
Didn't you drop a whole album? I haven't even had a chance to listen to it yet. I'm really excited about that. Michelle Evans, thank you, ladies. Great show. It has been our pleasure. Let's see.
Sky News had a long list of people moaning about Brexit on air as usual.
Of course.
They know they're actually just like making themselves look stupid.
Okay, so wonky vegetables and spam are us. You do better than that. You do. There are some really great dishes that you have that we got to try. Ladies, love your British accent impressions. Sound better than mine. LOL. See? I'm so full of them. You know, the My Fair Lady one, I think, is the one that's the
not
easiest.
a rap. Don't do a rap.
No, we're not going to do a rap. Don't worry.
No, but
we're going to play
Justin
Justin's.
yeah,
we can rap. It's not like not like you're going to hear from us like you did on Leah the other day on Patriot Gallery show, which that is really good. I would actually love to see Justin do that.
It'd be fun.
Faster. Wow. Because the way that he spits rhymes is so fast.
Fish. Let me tell. This is what I got to tell you.
Fast.
Wait. So y'all has sent us some really great stuff, chocolates and stuff like that. And you know, my Patriot Gallery is so grateful. You know what she says she wants? Y'all send.
She's like, did anybody send me any fish and chips? Can someone just mail me some fish and chips, please?
Don't do it, please.
No, it won't
Don't
last.
do it. It don't work like that way, Mama. It don't
have
work.
Fish and chips
we
places.
live in Ohio. We are surrounded by land. They are an island, so they better have fish and chips everywhere.
Right.
So we have to go there to get them. To get the fish and chips. Y'all eating the fish and chips, always telling us, showing us pictures, telling us, I eat fish and chips. I eat fish and chips.
When are the Resistance Chicks coming to the UK?
Good question. I don't know.
You have to ask the Lord and finances, but we are going to Plymouth, America.
Plymouth, Massachusetts. in
June and July.
July.
So, cod and haddock.
So good.
Love some good fish and chips. We do too, we just never get any.
Love PG shows. Gotta be cod.
Robert Bone says, very enjoyable. Thanks, ladies. Good night,
you girls
everyone.
can make some fish and chips. Yes, we do.
It doesn't taste the same.
It's not the same.
We had a fish and chip joint when I was a kid in our town.
A real one, not Long John Silver's.
And it closed down. And yeah, Long John Silver's. Please tell me you guys don't have Long John Silver's over there.
Ooh, you better not. That'd be like unethical.
It would be.
All right, guys. We have a P.O. box. Please don't send the fish. 107. Milford, Ohio 45150. We're just joking on that. I would not put past y'all to try to send some fish and chips. I appreciate it.
Birbaz says Gina Miller walked off the Sky News set sulking.
Oh dear.
You've never heard of Long John Silver's, thank God. Okay. It's the
Stuart
McDonald's
the Bird
of
is still
fish and
trying to
chips.
get an English accent like Leah's and Michelle's. That's so funny.
No, there isn't. It doesn't exist, really. It's completely made up. It's
chips
fantastic.
fried in beef drippings.
What? Okay, so I can see that.
That sounds good.
Beef drippings, just
yeah. One of your best, ladies. I've really enjoyed it. I made haddock and chips twice last week.
Sure you did. Fine. Mushy peas. Yeah, that, it's called baby food.
You guys.
Yeah.
This has been great.
It has been a wonderful show. So
I catch my own fish and make fries with slaw.
Okay,
So
Sir Johnson. You just win the prize. You win the prize. Sir the Brit was asking, Michelle, talk to us. I don't know if you meant like literally in the chat or if you're wanting us. He says it's been 3 years. I don't think my head getting wrapped around doing phone calls, like calling in stuff like Nige does. It's a tech issue. Okay, it's not I wouldn't want to hear from you guys.
Pudding special. Pudding.
Although
chips, mushy peas, and gravy.
There's always going to be the crazy YouTubers that call in. And how do you screen for that? Like, you know, Nigel, I've called into Nigel several times. I've spoken to the man like 3 times in my life. At least 3 or 4. Can't remember. I should remember. But anyway, they screen the callers. They ask you what you're going to say. Okay. And they get a feel that now I get through usually because they have my number remembered and I'm an American. Okay. But we wouldn't have that. So literally we just get whoever. They even do that on the Alex Jones show. They screen the callers. We couldn't screen the callers. And then I don't want to be like rude. Like, dude, that's off topic. I don't want to talk about that or something. Then hang up on people. Yeah.
As the Lord leads.
Exactly. So Britbot says, I will buy you fish and chips when you come.
We'll take you up on it.
Sold. Red potatoes make the best fries. That's a good tip. That's a real good tip. All right.
So Sunday, we're going to continue this European way. We're riding it in.
We're going to be talking a lot about the coronavirus there. They've here in the United States, they did a press conference today. They're gonna
chips, pudding, peas, and gravy.
Restricting travel.
Pudding, peas.
Not restricting travel, but if any.
I remember when you called into Nige.
If any American
part of Brexit
comes back from China, they will have a self-imposed, like they have to do a quarantine of their own selves in their own house.
If I spoke to Nigel, I'd not wash my ears for a week.
Oh, I know, right? But if you come from that province, you will be taken to a detention center to be quarantined for
we should have somebody,
2 weeks.
guys. You're already been screened. You've been in our chats for all these years. We should have you call in. Just to hear your
with Leah while she
your accents.
She's not. She didn't even catch that.
I did.
That's
all of it.
News you didn't know.
Corona, mamoni, vafoni.
Quarantines. People come back from. They're going to be literally taken to a quarantine.
Eating the bats.
And if you aren't a U.S. citizen, you can't come here from China at all.
Fish batter is usually beer batter.
Okay.
Like there's an extra kick in the pants.
We love you guys.
In the pub.
God loves you. God bless. Remember,
hey, we're
it's not
making
just
fish.
a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. And we have left the EU. Now, here's the thing. I kind of want to change the title of our Sunday show now to just like World News. Because the only reason that we called it EU and UK News was because everybody kept telling us there's a difference between the UK and Europe. Because we kept calling you guys all Europe.
The UK and Euro News.
All right.
Peace.
Enjoy it. Enjoy today. Enjoy this week. I mean, it's just so great. We love you guys. We are saying ta-ta.
Ain't no high like a Brexit high, because the Brexit high don't stop. How about that one?
Mm-hmm. That's good. It's good. You're a good songwriter.
Thanks. Made that up myself.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to copyright it.
You'll probably get a copyright claim for that, actually. Okay, we are really going to say goodnight. We love you guys. God bless.
I was cold.